Yo, what it do, y'all? Welcome to Fandom Frequency. This is where we dive into the multiverse of pop culture. I'm your host, Will, and today we're diving back into one of my favorite series on TV and maybe all time, depending on where the rest of the season goes. Season 2 of The Last of Us, baby. Y'all saw the thumbnail, and we're getting into episodes 4 and 5, respectfully. And let me just jump right into this thing and say, I love both of these episodes back to back, man. And it's been great because I think these two episodes have done a great job at really slowing things down, really establishing Dina and Ellie going on this journey to Seattle in order to enact revenge against Abby and her crew for taking Joel out in the way they did. And the way that they're able to slow things down and really set things up in a way that doesn't feel entirely too rushed for me being a game player. I haven't finished the second game, but I played the first, so I'm aware of a lot of the storyline and where this thing's going to go, but not the entire thing. And they have speeded up some speed run some things in here, especially in episodes 5. But them getting to Seattle, I thought was nice that it was a little bit quicker than we were expecting and everything like that with episode 3. And then now getting in episode 4, where now they're kind of making their play to try to catch up and get more information, triangulate their positions and all that, and make a move on the wolf, on the WLF, you know what I mean? And then we really get to start our episode 4 in a great way with the flashback to show the leader of WLF, Isaac, 11 years earlier in the show. So I think that would be somewhere around 2012, something like that, mid 2010s, when your boy was about to get out of high school right here. And he was a member of Fedra at the time, which was kind of the group that was taking on the kind of taking over things for the government and whatnot, and became a really corrupt, unjust group, if you will. And Isaac was really jaded by it. And we even got to see an appearance from Josh Peck, of all people, one of my favorite guys, man, from one of my favorite shows growing up, Drake and Josh, right? So getting to see him literally be the first character that we see in the beginning of episode 4, and kind of getting into this little story and whatnot, and finding out why they call the people voters, and how Isaac is sickened to his stomach by the fact that they took away their rights to vote, and they call him that to mock them. And then they're in this convoy, and they end up getting stopped on the road by a bunch of these people, which are actually WLF members in the early stages. And then Isaac tells them that he's going to get out and talk to them. But obviously, this is all bullshit because he's betraying them. He throws a bunch of live grenades in there, blows the hell up out of most of the dudes, and then recruits one of the newer ones that's in there that's kind of, really green and whatnot. And he's all right, make a choice. You know what I mean? So ultimately, we find out when they jump forward 11 years later, when he's torturing this Seraphite in order to get information, Isaac, that is, we see that new white boy that was green at the time is all in on the WLF and doesn't get sickened or weirded out by Isaac's terrible tactics in order to torture him to in order for him to torture the Seraphite that we did see in the previous episode of episode 3, in order to get information out of him and to figure out what their next move is going to be. And as things have progressed in both of these episodes and in the season in general, we do find out that WLF is just as fucked up as the Seraphites are, and they have just been violence begets violence. They have just been going at each other back and forth over and over and over again, killing their children, them killing their children, them killing other people, torturing this, torturing that. It's pretty fucked up, man. And Isaac's using like this hot skillet and going into this whole kind of diatribe and whole like monologue about how he got into cooking to impress women, and how he always wanted this French set, and now he has it, but didn't get it in the way that he thought he would, and is now using it to torture Seraphites. So it's pretty dark and grim. And then when the Seraphite is so devout in their faith of their kind of culty religion that they got going on, and won't give him any information, he even sticks his hand out in order to get burned again. And he's ready to take it and won't give him anything. So Isaac's like, oh, fuck. Pulls out his gun, shoots the dude straight up point blank. And then we jump back over to our girls, Ellie and Dina, and they're over here kind of pulling some straight shit out of the game, where they're kind of rummaging through all this stuff, trying to get medical supplies and whatever they can find. And at that moment, when they're kind of split up and Ellie's outside waiting for her on top of on horseback, waiting for Dina to come out of there, Dina actually ends up finding these pregnancy tests, which confirms what a lot of us TV watchers would have, or a lot of you TV watchers probably thought after seeing her puke in the forest after they saw the aftermath of WLF taking out the Seraphites. Some people may have thought she had a weak stomach. A lot of other people speculated she was pregnant. As a game player, I was fully aware that she is pregnant, and this is all comes to a head, and she is confirmed with these several pregnancy tests that she pees on to find out the information, and then later on tells Ellie, and then they go on their journey through everything going on, and then at some point they end up going into this room to try to find out what's going on. They see the aftermath of all these Seraphites that got killed, and or no, of these sorry, of the Seraphites who killed these WLF members, left them hanging with their guts literally hanging out, which by the way were real stuntmen hanging from a harness up there, so that made it even more palpable and real feeling. Ellie and Dina stumble onto this. They're disgusted and disturbed. And then WLF members are not far behind because one of the members that was surviving had called in backup before they got. And then now the WLF show up. And then they have to hide away from them in some straight up stealth mode out of the game and try to make it out of there. Ellie kind of gets up to the second floor, and so does Dina, or Ellie makes it up to the second floor, excuse me, and then she doesn't really get out of there without coming in contact with one of the WLF members, and ends up having to jump on him like a spider monkey, and has to stab the guy in order to try to get away, but not before he gets a couple shots off, and then another guy pops up, which Dina has to shoot in the back of the dome, and then they end up having to make an escape from that into this underground trail station. A train station, not rail station, sorry. Trail station. Jesus, can I talk today? And then they end up running into a bunch more infected because the WLF threw out these flares in order to light up the room. And I love this red hue that they be using throughout the show and the game. It's really cool. And it was one of the scariest parts of the game for me. And then they end up running into all these infected in this abandoned train station. They have to jump into the train, Ellie and Dina, that is, to try to get away from all these infected that are swarming and surrounding them, banging on the windows of the train while they're trying to make their way through. WLF members are getting taken out and infected one by one, and they barely get out of this thing alive. And then they finally make it over to the theater. But before they can get out of the train station, they get stuck in kind of one of those like rotating door things or whatever. And then Ellie makes it through. Dina's trying to make it through and is getting stuck. But this fucking zombie's running right behind her and damn near bites her. But Ellie sticks her arm out to block it, gets bit. And then that's the whole revelation to Dina that Ellie is immune. She's got her gun pointed to her when they get to the theater. They're like, I don't trust that shit. She wasn't aware of it, rightfully so. And Ellie's like, oh shit, okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to sleep, and if I wake up and flip out, you can shoot the fuck out of me, but I won't. I've been bit before. We're good. And then she ends up telling Dina later on that she did get bit earlier in the first episode of this season and didn't want to tell anybody back when they were at Jackson on that little recon mission. Didn't want to freak anybody out. They end up having their little love sex scene and whatnot, confessing their love to each other and everything like that. Dina reveals that she is pregnant, and Ellie is willing to step up and take care of the baby. Even says, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a dad and everything, which I know some people found a little cringy, but hey, whatever. I don't want to get into all the crazy politic dynamics of gender and stuff these days. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for episode 4. And then we get to episode 5, where Dina is triangulating their position to try to make their next plan, to make their next move in order to get to the WLF to find Abby in order to achieve what they're trying to do. Ellie offers to help, but obviously she's not very book smart, so she's not able to help. But they have a fun little interaction about it. And then they find out that there is these patrols that are in this certain section, but there is one area that's a gap that is this long ass building that they don't seem to be fucking with, obviously because there are infected in there. But Dina says, hey, if we can slip through there, get through the infected, and get to the other side, we can actually slip under their patrols and maybe, just maybe, get to that tower that we saw at the end of episode 4 and get our hands on somebody and get some information about Abby. So this is the plan. This is what they do. And while they're making their way over there, Ellie actually asked Dina what was the first time she actually killed somebody, and then she explains her backstory where these raiders had gotten into Dina's home, killed her sister and mom. She stumbled onto them, had a gun with her because she wanted to play around and mess with it. She's only 8 years old, ends up shooting the raider and getting her revenge right then and there, and makes that statement in order to make the point that she's all in this with Ellie, ride or die till the end. It doesn't matter if she's pregnant or not. She wants to enact this revenge because she knows if she went through what Ellie had to do and had to see it happen and the person got away, she would have hunted them down for the rest of her days to the ends of the earth. And I love that she's so all in on this, and I love the way that Ellie offers for her to go back and to not be a part of this, obviously due to her being pregnant, but Dina's all in on it, and I think that makes things make a hell of a lot more sense and coincide together a lot better than her just going on and trekking along with this. Technical difficulties, running out of space here to record these damn videos. But yeah, so I'm going to have to just pretty much wrap it up, guys. Didn't mean to speed run this so much. But yeah, so love these last 2 episodes. Great stuff. Really going to be interested to see where things go because Ellie is torturing that poor girl Nora or not poor girl, but torturing Nora when she catches up to her after Jesse gets him out of there. and all that stuff. So we got this whole love triangle going on with Dina, Jesse, and that. And then Ellie's going full dark side, beating this chick with a fucking pipe shaped like a golf club. Very uncoincidental, I'm sure, with the production behind the scenes there. And it's like, where is Abby? Where is she? Like going full on crazy Batman mode over here. And then we see this little flashback that we're going to be probably getting into with episode 6 through the entire episode. But yeah, love the episodes. Really great stuff. Comment down below and let me know what you think about it. But I gotta cut the video here, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you for sticking to the end. Stay tuned, don't sleep, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.